Right now, wherever you are, go to the closest mirror that you can find, bro. It doesn't matter what size it is, small or big. I even have mine over here, bro. Because what I'm about to show you isn't something like a gimmick or a trick. It's not even something spiritual or manifestation related, bro. It's something that was normally done in the 1990s, and the earliest date that I can remember it being done is 2010. But before we get into that, have you ever noticed that every time you look in the mirror, you see something different about yourself? Like it may be something about the shape of your face, or maybe a hair out of place. Like every single time, you find something different about yourself when you look in the mirror. Now, I'm here to tell you that you're not crazy, bro. It's something that's done deliberately, bro. Like on purpose. It's done, it's literally supposed to be there. You're supposed to see something different every time you look in the mirror. Now you may be asking, what does this have to do with all of this? That's the strange phenomenon of the mirror, bro. If you stare at your face, your own face, long enough in the mirror, you start to notice something different. You start to see weird shapes. You can even start seeing creatures. Now, as I said, this is not a supernatural video, but I'm just saying this so you can see that I'm stating facts, and I'm going to give you the receipts. If you look back in 1990, there's this old program, not a TV show, but it's like this way of treating patients that was discovered by a doctor. I won't say the name, but it's called the mirror exposure therapy for body dysmorphia. And to be honest, it was done in the 1990s and it's still being done to date. Now, it was used in cognitive behavioral therapy. Patients with body dysmorphia or eating disorders are asked to look into a mirror for extended periods of time to challenge negative perceptions of themselves. Like their self-image, it's supposed to change their self-image about themselves. Now, you know when people like want to lose weight or like a fear of gaining weight, what do they do to themselves? They make themselves vomit. They have, I want to state some medical disease, not disease, but disorder. But I don't want to get the facts wrong, but I'll still say it. Anorexia. Yeah, they have that where you make yourself vomit after eating. And you just basically try to lose all that weight that you think you have gained from just eating even one meal, bro. So that's one way it was used in 1990. Till date, right? Then the most fascinating one is actually most recent, and it was done in the University of Urbino in Italy in 2010. It's called the Giovanni Caputo's strange face illusion. Now this is what I gave into. In a dimly lit room, participants stared at their reflections for 10 minutes. Over time, their faces seemed to distort, and many reported seeing strange or monstrous versions of themselves. Now this was due to neural adaptation and the brain's way of processing familiar stimuli. Now what we care about is how can you start seeing monsters? By looking at your own face for too long, right? Now this is where what I'm talking about comes in, bro. You have to keep on looking at your own face for as long as you can for this to work. Now, another point that I have to mention before we go any deeper is the mirror lies to you. Now, we all know that your reflection isn't exactly a depiction of you exactly, right? Now, did you know that the way you see yourself in the mirror is actually a reversed version of how the rest of the world sees you? That means the face you've gotten used to, your mirror self, is different from what other people see every day. Like you may have this whole image of yourself in your mind, but in actuality, it's like the opposite, the complete opposite, bro. When you look yourself in the mirror, they say like the way people see you is the exact opposite, bro. That's just something interesting that I thought I would mention. But something that is beneficial is the experiment that changed everything. Remember how I mentioned the Giovanni strange face illusion experiment, right? There was another experiment where people were asked to look at their own reflections for 10 minutes straight. No distractions, no adjusting the hair, no posing, just staring at yourself in the mirror. And this time they had light, they had everything, bro. Now, obviously, they didn't see any monsters, bro. But the point is, at first, it was awkward. They felt uncomfortable in their own skin, bro. Because when you look yourself in the mirror, you see all these imperfections about yourself, bro. Like, this thing, bro. That's how powerful it is, bro. You literally see all the imperfections about yourself, especially when you zoom in. And guess what? Most people don't like the zoomed in version of themselves, bro. They don't like to see the imperfections of themselves. So guess what? They never spend enough time with themselves. And guess what the first step to fixing insecurity is? Not fixing as if it's a disease, but to getting rid of that insecurity. It's getting comfortable in your own skin. So what should you do? Like, follow the example of the experiment. At first, they felt awkward staring at themselves, but then eventually it got comfortable, right? They weren't just looking at a flawed person anymore. It became like, okay, this is me. They accepted themselves at the end of the day. Now, this is the moment it all clicks. So here's where it all comes from. If you've ever felt insecure, the solution isn't to change how you look, right? You know how people go in the mirror and then change how they look, fix things every single time, bro. Like, we all know someone who, whenever they go into the mirror, whenever they look at themselves in the mirror, they change something. It doesn't even have to be massive, but they notice the smallest detail about themselves, bro. Right? I wouldn't say that's insecurity, but I would say, like, bro, you have to be at some level to notice. You have to be looking for it to notice something about yourself, bro. And most people, they don't do it out of a place of, you know what, my hair is out of place, let me fix it. They do it out of a place of, you know what, I don't want this person to see me like this, let me fix my hair. I don't want this person to criticize me or to think this about me, let me fix my t-shirt. Let me make sure there are no stains on my t-shirt or anything, bro. Let me go get a haircut because I don't want this person to see me without a haircut. It's not about that, bro. It's about being comfortable in your own skin, bro. Now, most people, as I say, they change something about themselves because they want to avoid it. Now, imagine if you actually stopped fighting it. If you were like, you know what? I want to spend a day looking at myself in the mirror. It's something to think about again, bro. Because we spend most of our time, what percentage of the time of your day do you spend looking at yourself in the mirror? Or just looking at yourself, to be honest. It doesn't have to be a mirror, even a phone. What percentage of the day do you look at yourself? Like 0,001, bro. To be honest. Most people look at themselves 2 times a day. When they wake up and they brush their teeth, and when they go to sleep after brushing their teeth. Right? But only 2 times you look at yourself, bro. How long is your life? Maybe right now you're 18. Maybe right now you're 16, 15, 14, 13, 21, 20. Whatever age you are, bro, 24, 25, you can be 27 or 30. But your whole life, you've been spending your whole life only looking at yourself in the mirror. In the morning and at night, whenever you brush your teeth, only. Now that's bad, bro. That's actually bad. Because it means you've never spent time analyzing yourself, bro. And this is the reason why I think most people are insecure, bro. It's because you are not familiar with yourself, bro. You don't know what you look like when you smile. You don't know what you look like when you're disappointed. You don't know what you look like when, let's say, you're bored and you're just looking out the window. It's like, bro, let's say people can tell you something about you that you don't know, bro. Let's say you have maybe a pimple and they say, bro, you have this like big pimple coming out of your lip. What do people initially try to do? If I say, bro, you have like a big pimple like on your nose, like inside your nose, and everyone can see it, the first thing people will do is cover it like this. Right? Why? Because you're shocked, you're surprised. And guess what? You never want anyone to tell you anything about yourself, bro. You never want to be shocked when it comes to information about yourself. So know everything about yourself, bro. Because that's the only way that you can accept yourself fully. By knowing that, okay, this is like this. Don't find your insecurities to highlight them. Find them to be like, okay, I know this about myself. And yeah, that's just how it is, bro. This is what I'm like. This is who I am. We can even see it in the movie Slim Shady, right? When they were having the rap battle. And Slim Shady, like, gave the opposition, the other rapper, who he was competing against. In a rap battle, you know, it's like personal. And people diss each other real deep. And they try to like find every insecurity about you and say it to the people to make the people laugh and be like, oh. But guess what Slim Shady did? He actually rapped about all his insecurities, everything that they may think is a disadvantage to him, right? And the other person had nothing to say, which means that the other person couldn't make Slim Shady feel insecure about himself because he had already stated everything there is to state about him because he knew himself. Now that's the same thing that I'm saying to you, bro. If you ever feel insecure, bro, know everything about yourself. Spend enough time with yourself, bro. And even in like childhood trauma, in people who were like treated the wrong way, or physically not treated the right way, bro. Some people even get naked, bro, in front of a big mirror and spend a lot of time looking at themselves, bro, like just accepting their own bodies, bro. Because insecurity comes from what? Not spending enough time with yourself, bro. You don't know your own body. But in this case, I'm talking about your face. Because you have a small mirror like this, and the only thing you can see is your face. Your beautiful face. Okay. So yeah, bro, that's something to think about. And if there's anything that I want to leave you with after watching this video is get a mirror, bro. Look yourself in that, whatever. Look at yourself in the mirror, bro. And get used to seeing yourself and accept everything about you, bro. Know yourself, bro. Know yourself. Remember, you spend 0.001% of the day looking at yourself. Only 2 times a day, bro. But you are with you the whole day. You don't even know what you look like. You are only used to seeing other people, which is very bad. So yeah, bro, that's something to think about. And I won't even get into the topic of beauty filters and trying to look aesthetic and all of these things. That's actually going to be the next video, being aesthetic and beauty filters. So stick around and stay tuned for that, bro. I hope you like this new style of making videos, because it's pretty interesting to me, because I get to talk about things that are very interesting, bro. Well, welcome to the Dreamer's Corpse. Give your heart and the world is yours to conquer. Take care.